quick update, not just on AMC stock, but on overall all of my positions. Not just on my Fidelity account, but I wanted to show you also on my Webull account. This is a full breakdown. This is the current value of what I have invested behind each trade. AMC, Pinterest, Urban, Starbucks, Twitter, PayPal, Facebook, Peloton, and Roku. I wanted to update you guys on the ones I've added more on. I wanted to update you guys on the ones that I just actually began to buy, which is more on the Peloton and Facebook side. But also talk about my plan with AMC. One of the things that I want to quickly talk about is my video yesterday. You guys, I feel like a majority of people really enjoyed that video, and it got a lot of attention because we talked about AMC on the 4-hour time frame being at a critical point where it's beginning to potentially indicate signs of an uptrend. I understand that because it's AMC and there are two sides to really, the type of traders that AMC experiences. AMC has those that are holding, right? So for the movement or for whatever the cause they might have, where they expect AMC to go up to $100, $1,000, or $100,000, I understand that. And then there's the traders, right? People like you and I, where we treat it as just like any other stock or any other risky stock with the sense of our intention is to trade it. I have never made a video trying to encourage those that want to hold that they should sell. At the end of the day, someone else's intention is no more important than mine, and vice versa, right? So my main focus every single time is to talk about risk management. And I do this even when I have a lot of money behind the trade, right? Where it makes sense that not only do I have $93,000 behind AMC on my Webull account, but I have $350,000 on AMC in my Fidelity account. And if things go south, right, that's not in my favor. This is why I have to manage and mitigate risk. But because I choose to take advantage of an opportunity does not mean that every beginner should follow. And that's what I'm here to showcase. It's exactly what I did in yesterday's video where I needed to make sure that you guys are aware that I have a position, right? I feel like a lot of other people, based off of what I understand, they always talk about AMC. They always encourage you to hold, but they never tell you or show you their position. And you guys know, I'm very open. When I sold AMC, I'm all about sharing with you that I sold. And I explained to you why I sold. Not that I think that you should follow, but my intention, right? I viewed it to be overbought. RSI, MACD, based off previous highs, it tends to get rejected there. So I prepared for a pullback. So now I was able to buy the dip with $350,000. And if it recovers, I can reap the benefit, right? So the potential's there, nearly 30%. But if AMC crashes, I will also take on the risk. And that is something I can tolerate with my experience. I never want to talk about all the profit potential or recovery without taking on or talking about the risk involved. We are now around the SMA line and EMA line, so if we break above and begin to trade above $42, that's a step in the right direction, but we're not there yet. So in yesterday's video where I talked about, hey, we're at a critical point for AMC, and I see the potential for it to being able to, skyrocket. I see the potential for it to be able to recover and break out. But we didn't have that confirmation yesterday. We were still trading below EMA. And because of that, I had to make sure that I did my part in encouraging beginner traders, as I want to look out for them, that buying the dip early is sometimes more often bad than good. And I would hate for them to buy and then it just gets rejected. So I encourage them to be a little bit more on the conservative side and to wait for proper confirmation if you choose to take advantage of a risky trade. And then again, the flood of people that encourage others to hold. It's don't put your opinions in other people's pocket. If I were to take a huge loss on AMC, no one's going to cover my loss, right? And if you take a huge loss on AMC by holding, no one's going to cover your loss. You need to make sure that you do your part in looking out for your future self. And if you see the potential, that's great, but you need to take into consideration the risk involved. And it's never a bad idea to just look at both sides. I'm not here to say that my side of day trading it is better than the side of holding it. We each have different plans, but that's the beautiful thing about the stock market is that everyone can approach a trade in a different way and still get that same end result of making a profit. You're right. If this thing does skyrocket, I will most likely sell at $52 and I'll be happy. And if it skyrockets to 100, yeah, I might miss out on a little bit of that, but I can always buy back in. But if it also crashes, I don't have to take on the risk of holding it overnight and or taking on that risk if it drops right back down to $10 a share. So there's the good and the bad on each side. Just make sure that you understand both sides with the understanding of if you hold, the incentives, and then also the risk versus if you trade it, the incentives versus what you could potentially miss out on. With that being said, I wanted to talk about and show you guys, obviously, my Facebook and Peloton position. I bought about $17,000 worth of Facebook. I bought a little bit more of, or $10,000 worth of Peloton, and then I added more to these positions. I added more to Starbucks today. I added more to Urban Outfitters today. I added more to PayPal today, and the reason why is very simple. The NASDAQ market and overall markets, right, when it sold off, everyone was freaking out. This is when I began to really load up on a couple of my shares. And then once it began to indicate signs of an uptrend about 2 days ago, I loaded up once again. And today is probably one of my, almost my last one. So I'll load up a little bit more on Starbucks, a little bit more on PayPal, of course, Facebook and Peloton. But it's in the very early stages of potential reversal. It's already indicating signs of a recovery, and we'll follow up. But I am choosing to take advantage of this opportunity, which is why I'm sharing it with you. But you should never copy what it is that I do, because if it ends up crashing right back down, if some news is shared where things get worse in China, it can easily crash right back down. But that is the risk that I am taking on, which is why I'm okay with putting nearly $700,000 into the market at the oversold levels. And if it ends up going according to plan, then guess what? It's going to be very profitable for me. But if things go south, then again, that's the risk that I take on. And that's just something that you need to take into consideration. Only put yourself in a position in which you can tolerate based off of your experience level. So I hope that you now have a better understanding of why I bought more today with some of my blue chip stocks, why I bought the dip on something like Facebook and Peloton. I'm sure you guys have seen it. If not, very quickly, Facebook on the 4-hour time frame recently sold off. I viewed it to be somewhat of a dip buy opportunity. And then Peloton, a very similar approach where Peloton recently pulled on back. I saw it to be something worth looking into. So I bought $10,000 worth of it on my Fidelity account and about $14,000 worth of it on my Webull account. So I'm very excited to follow up with it. The riskiest trade that I have in all of my positions is AMC. And it's probably not one that I'm going to hold overnight. So just make sure you take that into consideration. I'm not big when the direction's not in my favor, as AMC is not indicating signs of an uptrend just yet. So it's probably not going to be in my best interest to hold a very large position overnight. So just make sure you're aware of that. But I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that it earned your thumbs up. I just wanted to explain the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing and not just telling you to do something. At the end of the day, you should never copy what other people do. You should have your own plan and your own goals and your own intention for your future self. So I hope that it earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. I upload new videos every day. If you guys want to get alerted, make sure you turn on your post notifications. We do have a free Facebook group if you're absolutely new to the stock market. It's the first link in the description. And if you want to join my live trading session tomorrow at Market Open, I trade live every single day, and that is that second link down below. I appreciate you guys' time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.